Making headlines this hour, President assures Maldives would continue in its path of promoting the spirit of multilateralism, international cooperation and understanding to further peace and prosperity. Presidential Commission reveals the state had failed to find an individual who is a suspect of a murder case that took place in 2016. And investigative authorities reveal some 267 individuals received financial benefits from the corruption scandal of MMPRC.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Latif Ahmad. Now the news in detail. President Ibrahim Mohamed Solih assures Maldives would continue in its path of promoting the spirit of multilateralism, international cooperation and understanding to further peace and prosperity. The President made the remarks in his message on the occasion of the 74th United Nations Day. In his message, President Solih highlighted the United Nations Day is a celebration that reaffirms the belief in multilateral decision-making and diplomacy in achieving peaceful resolution to conflict. The President noted United Nations has remained strong for 74 years since its foundation and is a constant reminder of the importance of shaping a shared future that benefits all. President Solih expressed Maldives strongly believe in the United Nations, the principles and spirit of its charter, and the belief that every single member of the organization brings value to unlock the true potential for peace, progress and prosperity. The President mentioned it is this conviction that consistently brings Maldives to play its part as a responsible member of the United Nations. The President noted 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development charts a holistic framework for the dignity of all, for a better life in a safe, healthy and peaceful world. He assured Maldives remain committed to the 2030 Agenda, including the Paris Agreement, Addis Ababa Action Agenda and the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction. He added, despite the challenges, Maldives is committed to solving the complex problems through understanding, shared knowledge and multilateralism. President Solih said a better life for future generations and step up to raise ambition for meaningful action in order to reverse the detrimental changes to the planet and its biodiversity. He affirmed Maldives will continue to play its part to promote the spirit of multilateralism and promote international cooperation and understanding to further peace and prosperity for the benefit of all. Marking a shift in Maldivian policy of self-imposed isolationism, President Solih made a historic address at the General Debate at the 74th session of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, in September, becoming the first Maldivian leader to address the UNGA in 7 years. The address symbolized the administration's resolve to return to the world stage and engage with the international community through a sound foreign policy pursuing increased bilateral and multilateral engagements to promote interests and priorities in Maldives. United Nations Day marks the anniversary of the United Nations Charter and has been celebrated on October 24th since 1948. Presidential Commission on Investigation of Murder and Enforced Disappearances reveals the state has failed to find an individual who is a suspect in a murder case that took place in 2016. The commission has asked for public knowledge on the whereabouts of Irfan Rushdie, who is suspected of being involved in the murder of 14-year-old Father Muhammad Ali on June 3, 2016. The Commission mentioned Maldives Immigration has said the suspect has left Maldives in 2015 and had not returned. Despite the claims, the Commission revealed the suspect was seen at the scene of the murder in 2016. adding the authorities have been unable to locate or apprehend him in over 3 years. Back in 2016, Maldives Police Service has also announced seeking public support in apprehending the suspect. However, the police said no information on his whereabouts were received in the past 3 years. Investigative authorities reveal some 267 individuals received financial benefits from the corruption scandal of Maldives Marketing and Public Relations Corporation, MMPRC. Further information regarding the largest corruption scandal that took place in the recent history in Maldives was revealed at a press conference by President of Presidential Commission on Corruption and Asset Recovery, Ahmad Assad. President of Anti-Corruption Commission ACC, Mariam Shauna, Commissioner of Police, Muhammad Hamid, and Assistant Commissioner of Police, Ahmad Riaz. They revealed further investigations have shown individuals who have received financial benefits from the scandal is at 267, a number much higher than initially reported by the authorities. The individuals who have received financial benefits from the scandal include 44 former parliamentarians, 16 current parliamentarians, 5 members at independent institutions, 7 officials currently serving at the government, 7 judges, and 23 members from the security forces. Speaking at the press conference, Assad said funds from the scandal were mainly utilized for political benefit and influence, adding huge sums were dispersed for parliamentarians, important votes and appointments. He added the funds embezzled out MMPRC amounts to over $220 million. Meanwhile, Assistant Police Commissioner Riaz said the funds were first used in 2014, just before the parliamentary elections. Riaz said the funds were used in directing party primaries for certain individuals and as bribes for parliamentarians to change political parties. He further said a former police commissioner and a deputy police commissioner have also received funds from the scandal. He added all individuals who have received funds may not have been part of the scandal. Ministry of Fisheries, Marine Resources and Agriculture imposes a fine on the owner of the Maldivian fishing vessel caught in Indian territorial waters. The fishing vessel was caught by Indian security forces on October 5th, about 3 miles off Minicoy, the closest Indian territory to Maldives. The government of India released the fishing vessel and its crew on October 7th. However, for violating the fisheries law of Maldives, the Fisheries Ministry has imposed a $3,247 fine on the owner of the vessel. The fine was imposed under Article 73 of the Fisheries Law of Maldives. This is the first time a fine was imposed following the implementation of the latest amendments to the Fisheries Law of Maldives. The Fisheries Ministry has called on all Maldivian fishing vessels to be more cautious and to operate in the exclusive economic zone EEZ, as fishing outside the Maldivian waters is against the law. International laws and treaties mandate Maldives to take measures against illegal fisheries. Hence, according to the ministry, Maldivian vessels fishing in the waters of other neighboring countries might negatively impact the Maldivian fishing sector. Such actions might result in the fisheries oversight body of the Indian Ocean Tuna Commission IOTC, from blacklisting Maldives. The ministry also stated it shall take necessary actions against vessels fishing in international waters. International law of the seas grants coastal states sovereign jurisdictions on marine resources in its adjacent section of the continental shelf taken to be a band extending 200 miles from the shore. While Maldives gets 200 miles from the east and the west, the zone between Maldives and Sri Lanka have been split in half as the waters do not allow a clear 200 miles for each nation. Hence, the Fisheries Ministry urges all fishing vessels to be extra cautious in operating in international waters between Maldives and India. The ministry estimates the EEZ to stretch to 35 miles to the north of the country. Minister of Higher Education Dr. Ibrahim Hassan announces plans to provide tuition fees directly to students instead of releasing the funds to the colleges and universities. Speaking on a program aired on PSM News, the Higher Education Minister did not specify when the change would be implemented. Ministry of Higher Education launched a free degree program for students who wish to complete undergraduate programs from colleges and the universities in Maldives. Currently, the ministry directly deposits tuition fees to colleges and universities. However, Minister Ibrahim Hassan noted there is a delay in the ministry receiving invoices from the colleges and universities under the current mechanism. Therefore, the minister outlined the plan to provide tuition fee directly to the students each semester. He said the change would ease the difficulties faced by the ministry as well as the students. The Higher Education Ministry has revealed more than $1.5 million has been spent to provide free undergraduate degree programs, with more than 5,600 students have taken the opportunity to pursue degrees for free. The ministry further said invoices of 3,800 refund payments of 1,700 students have also been settled so far. The free degree program is expected to cost the state a total of more than $10 million a year. The program pays the total course fees of undergraduate students studying at the Maldives National University and Islamic University of Maldives (IUM), while 40 to 60% of the tuition fees of students receiving undergraduate degree programs in private institutions are paid for by the government. The administration has also recently reduced the interest rates of the student loans and increased the payback period to make it more affordable for all students. Housing Development Corporation (HDC) says a further 189 individuals have asked for compensation, in addition to the 203 individuals included in the verdict of civil court to be compensated for being victims of a housing scandal in Maldives. On September 17th, HDC opened opportunity for victims of the Sea Life Global Inc. Private Limited fraud case to come forward to seek compensation. HDC said 189 individuals have come forward asking for compensation when the deadline closed on September 26. HDC is now evaluating the documents before finalizing the candidates who are subject to the compensation. Sea Life Global was contracted by the previous administration to construct 3,000 housing units in Hulmale. The company has also taken booking fee and down payments from individuals in violation of an agreement with HDC. However, the project to construct the housing units did not commence, and 203 individuals who have made payments have been asking for compensation, with several cases also filed at the courts of law. Moreover, HDC have also signed a settlement agreement with Sea Life Global to compensate the 203 individuals who have made the payments. The decision to pay $12 million owed by the state to Sea Life Global to facilitate the payout have met with wide criticism from the public. HDC has also decided to provide housing units to the 203 individuals from the ongoing housing projects conducted in Hulmale. Meanwhile, Managing Director of Sea Life Global Ahmed Musa Mohammed has fled the country. Interpol has also issued a red notice for his capture. The newly released report by the World Bank on business environment in 2020 shows China's sustained efforts in improving the business environment over the past years and the remarkable results of a deepening reform and opening up.
China have jumped to 31st place from 46th in the World Bank's annual Doing Business rankings. China is also, for the second year in a row, among the global top 10 best performers in terms of overall improvement in the ease of doing business. These results are a vote of confidence for China's ongoing efforts to streamline its business environment. The rule of law helps to guarantee that a country can foster a good business environment. China's new foreign investment law, which was passed in March, stipulates the intellectual property rights and technical protections available for foreign-funded enterprises. It also secures in law their right to be treated equally with domestic enterprises and for the industry sectors close to foreign investment to be clearly defined. Taken together, these measures provide institutional guarantees for the business environment. And the regulation on optimizing the business environment that was recently issued by the State Council sets binding regulations that are based on China's policy experience in promoting fair competition and enhancing market vitality. The government has also accelerated the pace with which it is aligning domestic rules with internationally accepted practices. The resulting improvements in policy transparency and law enforcement have gained recognition from the World Bank. Since the beginning of this year, officials at the national level and in the cities of Beijing and Shanghai have implemented more than 130 reform measures in line with international standards. This has helped to further strengthen the international competitiveness of China's business environment. The World Bank report notes China have made noteworthy improvements when it comes to the process of issuing construction permits. It has moved 88 spots up the global rankings, the biggest jump recorded on a single measure. And building on reforms that began last year, China have streamlined the process. For obtaining an electricity connection, businesses in China need to complete 2 steps and wait 32 days to get connected, half the regional averages of 4.2 procedures and 63 days in East Asia. These measures have helped to encourage foreign firms to continue to invest in China. Despite the decline in global foreign direct investment, China saw nearly 31,000 foreign invested enterprises established in the first 9 months of this year, and the actual use of foreign capital stood at some $96 billion, up 6.5% over the same period last year. And China remains a major destination for global venture capital. Substantial progress has been made, but more can be done to further strengthen the business environment in areas such as tax payments and improving the ability of private firms to access credit. As long as the government continues to carry out reforms in those areas, there will be better and better opportunities on offer for global investors.
Iraqi security forces used tear gas and stun grenades to repel demonstrators who had marched towards government buildings in protest against the corruption and economic hardship. The incident marked a renewal of the anti-government protest after security forces killed about 150 people in confronting a round of demonstrations at the start of the month.
About 1,000 people, some of whom had camped overnight in Baghdad's Tahrir Square, were marching towards the city's fortified green zone, which houses government buildings and foreign embassies, when they were stopped by security forces. Medical sources told Reuters about 20 people had been treated in hospital for tear gas exposure. In an address on Thursday, Prime Minister Adil Abdul Mahdi said people would be free to exercise their right to demonstrate, but that violence would not be tolerated. Abdul Mahdi has struggled to address discontent since sometimes violent unrest erupted in Baghdad on October 1st and spread to southern cities. Demonstrators blame corrupt officials and political elites for failing to improve their lives.
Manchester United ground out a 1-0 win at Partizan Belgrade in a tense Europa League Group L clash as Anthony Martial's 43rd minute penalty put his side in a commanding position to reach the knockout stages.
The match was played under tight security amid fears of crowd trouble, but it produced a cracking atmosphere as Partizan coach Savo Milosevic's appeal to home fans to refrain from offensive chants proved successful. Manchester United topped the group on 7 points from 3 games, 2 ahead of Dutch side AZ Alkmaar, who thrashed Kazakhstan's Astana 6-0 at home. Partizan have 4 points and Astana none. United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was delighted with United's first away win in 12 games in all competitions and their first away goal since August, but pointed out the performance left a lot to be desired.
We need to learn when to get the second, when to get the third, and I thought today we had loads of opportunities to make sure we were in a comfortable lead, but we didn't play that pass forward. But Brandon, absolutely great attitude. The boy is going to be a top player.
Solskjaer also singled out 19-year-old left-back Brandon Williams and praised the home fans who generated an electrifying atmosphere in the cauldron of Partizan's stadium.
And for me, Brandon was man of the match. He's been fantastic the few games he's played, and the boy has no fear. He's brave as a lion, and he got us the win.
The first 2 chances fell to United as Williams glanced a close-range header wide at the far post after Juan Mata floated in a free kick before Jesse Lingard hit the post as he picked up a loose ball on the edge of the area. Partizan striker Umar Sadiq rattled the woodwork with a fierce shot from 25 metres, and Japanese winger Takuma Asano fired just wide as the home side came to life, only to fall behind just before half-time. Williams was fouled by Nemanja Miletic as he raced down the left flank, and Marshall Cooley converted the spot kick when he sent Partizan keeper Vladimir Stojovic the wrong way. Partizan came out with renewed purpose after the break, and Bebra's Nacho fired inches wide from a free kick before Seydou Basoma forced a good save from Sergio Romero following a dazzling solo run through the middle. The home side had 2 penalty claims waved away by Spanish referee Javier Fernandez midway through the second half, and United were forced to defend in the numbers as Partizan through men followed in search of an equaliser. Rowed on by their fervent fans, the Serbian side launched a late onslaught, and Romero rescued United in the 83rd minute when he kept out Asano's close-range header with a superb reflex save. 4 minutes from time, Nacho shot narrowly over the bar from 20 metres as the decibel levels in the terraces reached a fever pitch, and United held on desperately in stoppage time to delight around 2,000 away fans in the Serbian capital. Milosevic said he was overwhelmed by a 10-minute standing ovation Partizan received from their fans after the final whistle.
New DC origin series Pennyworth explores the backstories of superhero Batman's father, Thomas Wayne, and his future butler, Alfred Pennyworth, but features no capes and tights, its lead stars say.
Set in 1960s London, the 10-episode series centres on the title character Alfred Pennyworth, a former soldier in his 20s who, back from a war and haunted by his memories of it, sets up his own security company. A chance encounter with young American billionaire Thomas Wayne, who is yet to father Bruce Wayne, sparks a lifelong partnership. Based on DC characters, the show is executive produced by Bruno Heller, the man behind Gotham, Rome and The Mentalist. According to Ben Aldridge, who plays Thomas Wayne, the series follows in the footsteps of darker and edgier DC origin stories such as Joker.
I think what I like about DC is that they seem to be going on this really psychologically dark route with their latest films and with the Joker, and obviously Robert Pattinson being cast as Batman. I think it will go a similar vein, and I think Pennyworth does that as well. I think it's kind of got that edge and that kind of dark psychological drama to it. It's not kind of all like colourful and fancy and
capes and tights.
Yeah. So I think we're moving in the right direction, and if you like that, then I think you'll like Pennyworth for sure.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Albert. Mr. Wine.
Actor Jack Bannon, who has previously starred in The Imitation Game and Fury, takes on his first title role in Pennyworth. Initially, he said he was skeptical about the premise of the series. Alfred Pennyworth was famously portrayed by British actor Michael Caine in Batman Begins, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, but Bannon said he sought inspiration elsewhere. He said the show's origin story approach allowed for more creativity. Pennyworth also stars singer and actress Paloma Faith as the villain Bet Sykes. The series receives its UK premiere on Stars Play on October 25th.
With that, we conclude the news for this hour. Thank you for being with us. Have a great day ahead. Goodbye.